That old calendar you have laying around, hanging on a wall in the garage, in the basement, in an attic, could be worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to look at calendars, vintage calendars. We're going to show you some that can sell for thousands of dollars. Now, age isn't always a factor, neither is the size. Small or large can sell for the same price range, as well as old or new. Now, most average calendars aren't worth a whole ton of money. It just depends on the calendar itself. Soda items will do extremely well. Transportation, railroad, trains, planes, travel, all of those sorts are on the high end, the top of the list. Now, here's a great example of a vintage calendar from 1957. Now, this is complete, though it does say December down here. That's December 57, and then you've got January 58 all the way through December 58. Now, the cat on there, this is a very specific cat. This is Chessie, and this is from the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. This is an advertising piece for a train, the Chessie route. It's a very well-known one. You can see the Chessie route right there. Again, at the bottom there, it's got Chesapeake and Ohio Railway. Something like this should easily go for $100 or better. Now, most of these calendars like this will go for some incredibly good money. $100, I think, is pretty good for a calendar that may have sold for $1 or less when it was first released. So here's an interesting calendar, just like the large one, but just a tiny version of it. It has the pad on here every month. This one's from 1886, and this could be used as like a dollhouse miniature almost. It literally looks like it's about the right size for a Barbie one. Even this little tiny one right here, it's original, it's from 1886, can still sell for hundreds of dollars too. These little tiny ones just don't show up. Really, any calendar from the 1800s is almost impossible to find. So there's always a market and always value for these exact same things. Now, as I said earlier, advertising ones usually sell for the most amount of money across the board every time I'm out there looking at them. Now, this is one for Peter's cartridges, and this is a hunting related one. Hunting and farming ones will also go for some pretty good money. A Winchester calendar, a Remington Arms calendar, any of those sorts of things will almost always go for some decent money. Even if they're from the 50s, 60s, 70s, even into the 80s and 90s, some of those advertising ones can still sell for some phenomenal money. This is an early one, a very nice one. Looks to be complete. It has January, and I would imagine all the way through to December. It's in excellent condition. Sometimes these were given out in actual frames like you see here. They may have been on the wall of a hunting supply store, hence why they would be framed. This one right here went for $2,500, just to give you an idea on some of the value. This is nowhere near the highest selling calendar out there. There are some that will sell for almost twice what this one sold for. Now, here's another one for grape at soda. Soda calendars as well can sell for some phenomenal money. We're going to look at a few of them just to give you an idea. This one's even not super old. It's only from the 50s. Grape at goes back to the 20s or even a little before that as well. There are some for advertisements that you will see that have famous people on them. Marilyn Monroe is on several posters that are just advertising everyday household items that can sell for thousands just because of who is pictured on it. Now, here's a very nice one. This is a Coca-Cola calendar from 1904. This very same image you can find in print ads. There's coupons from Coke, trade cards from Coke with this exact same image. The actress Lillian Nordica is very well known for this exact advertising piece. This sold in the $800 range. The frame in this case is modern. It does not go with it. This was not issued with the frame. It's a little smaller one. This is just an advertising piece that would have hung in a soda shop back in 1904. Now, this is a Greyhound Lines bus advertising calendar. It's from a very specific state. It's from 1934. It does not have a complete calendar pad. Many times that's exactly what you will find. If it has all of the months for the calendar, it will sell for far more than ones that are missing like this one here. Even though if it doesn't have any of the calendar tabs on it, it will still sell as an advertising piece. Many of these are very specific to the area that they were sold or marketed in. This one's from the DC area, I would say, without a doubt, because you can see the Washington Monument as well as the cherry blossoms. It's a very nice travel style image for the artwork on this one here. Now, just like some of these carrying a value because of who is pictured in it, like, say, Marilyn Monroe, this one has artwork by N.C. Wythe, an extremely well-sought-after artist. People will be buying this one for top dollar just because the artwork is by Wythe. His artwork is extremely sought after, as I said. This one looks like it's new old stock, and it still has the envelope that this was issued in, which really adds to the value as well. And as you can see, this one sold for hundreds of dollars. This one advertises Edison Mazda GE lights. These were lights for cars and other things back in the day. Now here's a very unique one from Albany, Oregon. Now, this is from a local small farming supply business that just so happened to do John Deere tractors as well. And that is why this one is worth so much money. It's advertising John Deere tractors, several different places you can see the markings on it. It has their emblem on it as well, which will really greatly increase the cost, the value of this. If the Deere only has 3 legs, that would be even better. Some of the John Deere actual artwork itself would have 3 or 4 legs shown in the image, depending on the age of the item. Now, without the John Deere advertising on this item here, it may not have sold for anywhere near what you see it going for in this one here. The John Deere is honestly the only tie-in that makes this one worth well over $500. Here's a really interesting one from the Lavelle Cream Separator. It's a company that made farming equipment as well, and it was a cream separator. This is from Canada. It says Saskatchewan on there. It has the calendar on the bottom, and it does look like it's complete. So this is a untouched one as well, coming straight from Canada. It sold for $365. Here's yet another farming one, and this is Syracuse Chilled Plow Company from Syracuse, New York. Now, what's interesting on the face of this is you've got 3 boys playing football. It's an early one. It's dated 1902, and it does appear to have the complete calendar pad on the bottom. Again, the calendar pad adds some value to it without a doubt, no matter what. You really want them to be complete, untouched, ready to go. Those will always go for the most money. Now, as I said, it doesn't have to be super old. The one we just showed you sold for the $300 mark. This one is from 1976, and it also went right at the $300 mark. Now, the artwork in this is by Neil Adams, a well-known DC artist who is well-known for his early Batman artwork in Detective Comics as well as Batman comics also. Highly collected because of that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be super, super old to carry a horrendously high value. Calendars of superhero, Marvel, any of that sort are super, super hot. Comic book related ones are always worth looking into. If you find any that's comic book TV related, anything from the 80s or before will usually carry some form of value. So keep your eye out for sure on these sorts of items. It doesn't necessarily have to be old. Even ones from the 90s, if it's the right topic, can sell for some good money. A large amount of people assume that once the calendar is no good because the date has come and gone, that they won't carry a value. But as you can see here, the date of the calendar means nothing as to the value. Now, just like most other items, ones tied to holidays can carry some horrendously good money as well. This is a Santa Claus Christmas calendar from 1919. Now, this is compressed or pressed paperboard is what it looks like. So this was put in a mold, and the paper was pressed out with heat and pressure to make this design. It was then airbrushed. So the reds you see on here are airbrushed, as are the blues. All of those little sparkly things you see on there are also mica. It is not glitter. Back in this time frame, they used mica, which is a ground up stone that was sprinkled on and glued on, just like you would modern day glitter. But it is not glitter, it is stone. In some cases, they used glass, ground up glass that had a little mirror finish on it. So this is a very unique one. Again, you can see the dates on it here. It's even tied to a religion as well. If you look on Fridays, they've got a fish over every Friday for Fish Friday. If you're a member of a certain religion, you wouldn't eat fish on Fridays at all. So rather interesting one, to say the least. The Santa Claus himself is the reason why this one went for so much money. It's honestly a very nice calendar. It was something you would put up for decoration. So even when the calendar was gone, was done, you would be able to still hang it on the wall as decorations itself. Here's yet another interesting one. This one's not tied to any advertisement, but to an artist once again. Loupe Wayne did the anthropomorphic cats. Now the calendar itself is under the hood, so when you flop up the hood, you have the months spread out through here. Now this one here, as you can see, it shows 6 months at a time. This is a little cheaper. They could cram them in all together. So when you lift up this one, it has July through December underneath on the back side of this one. Rather unique, rather interesting one. This one's collected for multiple different reasons. This one is by Loupe Wayne, so it's collected because of that. People collect cats, anthropomorphic cats. People collect calendars as well. This is printed by Raphael Tuck & Sons, which is a highly collected printing company from England which serviced the king and queen of the country. This one has at least 5 different category type of collectors that will be outsourcing trying to find this one here. So there is a huge group of people that would want this type of calendar. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
This is the rugged G.I. Joe adventure team. Today's mission, rescue stolen idol. Your own G.I. Joe will need the adventure team helicopter. Joe gets it together and takes off. There it is, but it's guarded by a giant cobra. Can Joe get the idol? You find out. Search for the stolen idol, a G.I. Joe adventure. G.I. Joe sold separately.